we will be looking at when NFL players beef, like the full story of when Odell Beckham Jr. and Josh Norman went at it. Odell Beckham Jr.'s first 25 games in the NFL is something we will probably never see again. He made the greatest catch in NFL history that made him a global superstar, and everything else he did is just as insane. This is the most receiving yards by a player in their first 25 games. Randy Moss at 9, Victor Cruz at 4, and unsurprisingly, Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson at 3 and 2. But at number 1 is Odell. Plus, he holds the record for the most touchdowns too. Although in quite literally his 26th game, he is up against his toughest opponent yet, when the undefeated Panthers took on the 6-7 Giants. Although before we jump into that, a quick word from today's sponsor. Guys, it's that time of the year again. Leaves will be falling, days will be shorter, but the greatest sport on this planet is back. And to take the football season enjoyment to the next level, I've teamed up with DraftKings to let you guys know about an exciting deal they have going on right now. New customers who sign up using promo code FBallTakes and make a minimum deposit of $5 or more will get $25 in a bonus bet plus $25 in casino credits. And no, I'm not pulling your leg. You can get in on the action with DraftKings Sportsbook and Casino. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook and Casino app, deposit $5 or more, and get $25 in a bonus bet and $25 in casino credits when you sign up with promo code FBallTakes. Truly make this a football season to remember with DraftKings, whether it's taking the under or betting your favorite team to win it all. DraftKings is the absolute best place to do it. Alright, back to the video. Odell is up against Josh Norman in this game. Josh Norman has been craving for this moment to face Odell. First joining the league in 2013, Josh Norman was a fringe starter with the ego of prime Deion Sanders. However, he has reached a new level in 2015. He has yet to give up a touchdown and has 4 interceptions so far this season. He is playing amazing. And when he was asked about facing Odell, he said, "I was like, man, I'm very much anticipating this matchup. Looking at some of the stuff my opponent possesses, man, it's enticing. It looks very edible." Okay, whoa, no eating people, Josh. He then also referred to himself as Batman because Odell wore Joker cleats the week before. However, Odell does not view this matchup the same way. When asked about it, he said, "As far as I'm concerned, the Giants play the Panthers. There's 11 guys on the field and everyone has a one-on-one matchup." However, going into the first play of the game, Josh Norman only has one thing on his mind.
Sets it up at the 48. Manning, Beckham, open, dropped it. Bring it down at 10. What a missed chance that was. Here's Vereen. And Vereen will carry it just inside. Now 3rd down at 10. Here's Vereen out of the backfield, and that's Kuechly. He drags him down after a gain of 9. And another fight breaks out.
After that last hit, Panthers players are pleading with Josh Norman to calm down and not to make it about him, but the train already left the station.
Handoff is to Jennings. Nice little hop and a good carry on 1st down as he picks up.
I don't blame Ron for being mad, but you're going to see a lot of flags coming up shortly if it doesn't stop.
Here's Jennings with a good hard run. Beckham with a 1st down catch. And he is thrown to the ground by Norman. And there they go again. And then here is 2nd and 15. Handoff is to Vereen. Able to stay upright. And picks up a 1st down. There's Beckham again. What is going on? There they go again.
Now in the third quarter, somehow they have not been thrown out of the game. Josh Norman has held Odell to just 3 catches for 14 yards. This is the first game in Odell's career where he did not have a single catch in the first half. Josh Norman has a 2-bed, 2-bath skyline view in Odell's head, living rent-free. However, after that last scruffle, Odell seemed to process what is going on. His team is down 34-14, and he is not making the impact he wants. So the rest of the game, he flipped a switch.
In the third quarter, here is Beckham. Pass is caught. Beckham. Odell Beckham. Manning. End zone. Touchdown Beckham.
Odell scored the Giants' most important touchdown. They were trailing 35-14, and with Odell's help, the game is now tied. Although luckily for Josh Norman, he is on the same team as MVP Cam Newton, who easily drove past a terrible Giants defense to barely keep the Panthers' undefeated streak alive. No thanks to Josh Norman. With that, Odell played very good with 6 catches for 76 yards and a touchdown on the day. In fact, do you know how many touchdowns Josh Norman gave up in the entire 2014 regular season? Only 1. This very touchdown. And for the rest of their careers, Odell continued to dominate. From 2015 to 2018, you know, when Norman was still an elite cornerback, this is the highest receiver rating a player got against Josh Norman, 82.5. That is the best one. And this is what Odell had in 7 games versus Josh Norman, 104.3. Josh Norman wanted to give Odell huge problems going into a normal game where his team was the heavy favorites. But in reality, Odell proceeded to get the only touchdown Josh Norman gave up all season and then played great against him for the rest of their careers. Clearly, Odell won that beef, although this next beef still has a lot of life left in it. The Chiefs vs. Bengals rivalry has been a pretty professional one so far.
McPherson. And Cincinnati called it again, I'm sure. And they
We'll see y'all in Burrowhead.
Good afternoon, Cincinnati.
It's over. The City Chiefs. Ears. Hey, I got some wise words for that Cincinnati mayor. Know your role and shut your mouth, you jabroni.
So it was surprising when Joe Burrow actually gave Patrick Mahomes props this offseason.
Who is the best in the world, Joe? We're talking about.
I don't think there's any argument right now. It's Pat. Until somebody has a better year than he's had, he's the one to knock off.
Although when Jamar Chase was asked about Joe Burrow complimenting Patrick Mahomes, he had a different response.
About the number 1 player in the NFL, you said
Joe Burrow.
Joe Burrow.
Everybody knows that, yeah. That's easy. MVP.
He said Pat.
Who said Pat?
Joe.
Pat who?
Now, Jamar Chase could just be a forgetful guy, but Travis Kelce took offense to the comment, saying,
It is what it is, dog. Who doesn't love some good locker room banter, man? Shout out to Jamar Chase for, holding it down for his QB, but don't you ever disrespect Pat Mahomes now. If you want to talk your pimp, just better back it up.
Although Patrick Mahomes had the final say. When the Chiefs unveiled their Super Bowl rings on June 10th, he posted this photo with the caption, "That soon." Enough said. No comeback for that. Although the winner of this beef is us. Because as Joe Burrow puts it, the best thing about that is it's all settled on the field. So we'll see them in December. When they face off in Week 17 this season, it is going to be an absolute spectacle. Which Jalen Ramsey is always a spectacle because he has beef with nearly everyone, including a kicker. The 2021 NFC Championship is tied closing in on the end of the first half, although the 49ers got into field goal range. Robbie Gould, San Francisco's 39-year-old kicker, aims and fires the ball through the upright, and then got into it with Jalen Ramsey. Now, why is Jalen Ramsey fighting with a kicker? We don't know what was said, but we can make a pretty close assumption. Robbie Gould was warming up right in the middle of the Rams running out of the tunnel before the game. And perhaps Jalen Ramsey remembered that, or just doesn't like what Robbie Gould said. The Rams went on to win this game, and the 49ers started their offseason. Then in 2022, the first game these teams faced off, the two players exchanged some words, although no fights this time. Now, heading into their Week 8 matchup, Robbie Gould and Jalen Ramsey did not forget about their beef.
And that kick is up, and field goal. Rams have the lead. They've got a minute. I mean, it's been 9 days, but this rivalry always emotional. Gold standing, and then Ramsey goes to his own. Rivalry always emotional. Standing, and then Ramsey goes to his own bench with Darion Kendrick.
This is crazy. Jalen Ramsey is really raging on the sideline over a now 40-year-old Robbie Gould. The 49ers won this game, and afterwards, when Robbie Gould was asked about the situation, he said, "It's just a rivalry game. I think everyone understands the significance of it. I think he asked me for my jersey for Christmas, probably, but we won and move on to the next." Although this beef ended because Robbie Gould was not re-signed and Jalen Ramsey was traded to the Dolphins. With that, it is always interesting when two of the all-time greats at a position go at it. Richard Sherman, in his 9th year in the league, is still locking down sorry receivers, helping his team get to the playoffs and even making it to the 2019 NFC Championship, where they beat the #1 offense in the league 37-20. In this game, Richard Sherman played great, allowing just a 56.2 passer rating and even intercepting a ball. However, in this great game, there is one big question mark. Davante Adams, Packers' #1 wide receiver, had a great game too, with 9 catches and 112 receiving yards. However, Richard Sherman only covered him on 2 of those targets. That is because he is a zone coverage corner. He does not follow the #1 receiver, just locks down his area. And that does not sit right with one former legend. Darrelle Revis just happened to be watching the game. He retired in 2017, but in his NFL career, he was one of the best cornerbacks of all time. In his prime, you could put anyone in front of him. Calvin Johnson, Randy Moss, probably even a robot. They were getting shut down, even nicknamed Revis Island because he is known for locking down the opposing team's #1 wide receiver for the entire game. So while watching Davante Adams ball out, he tweeted, "Fear of getting beat in man-to-man coverage. The fact that he doesn't travel as a cornerback is lame. Accept the challenge as the best and shut Adams down the entire game. Do it for the game of football. Stop hiding in cover 3 zone." He then sent another tweet to clarify. "All y'all think I'm throwing shade. I'm not. Just stating the man is not a pound for pound man-to-man corner. He does not travel, but traveling with a receiver is not for every DB." Although Richard Sherman just won the NFC Championship. Even though he loves some confrontation, he is probably celebrating with his team or enjoying the win or looking forward to the Super Bowl. But 1 hour and 1 minute after the game ended, Richard Sherman hopped on Twitter and said, "I would go in on this has-been, but I have a Super Bowl to prepare for. Enjoy the view from the couch. Your 9th year looked a lot different than this." Revis fired back, "My 9th year, I led the entire league in turnovers. Enjoy the Super Bowl and strap up, because this game you will have to cover." Sherman then corrects the grammar of Revis's original tweet, which that is a fatal blow, then saying, "I have to cover every game, kid. I get my hands on the football in the playoffs, something you will never know anything about." To which Revis said, "Correction, pup. Think you have to go check the stats. You're balling in the postseason, not taking anything from your play. As a corner, we play best on best to challenge the #1 receiver. Every snap, 4 quarters. Waiting for you to do the same." And Richard Sherman fired off the final tweet. This Twitter beef was very extra, but that is the end of it. Richard Sherman has a Super Bowl to play in, and you know Revis will be watching closely from the couch. It was open season against Richard Sherman. He was targeted 6 times. He gave up 6 catches for 77 yards, a touchdown, and a 158.3 passer rating. He was by far the worst coverage player on his team this game. Plus, this is Richard Sherman's top 10 worst games from 2018 to 2022. 2018 was the first year this data was available. So this game ranks here. Richard Sherman easily had one of the worst games of his career. So who won this beef? Honestly, I don't think anyone did. Richard Sherman obviously taking the bigger hit, although Revis kind of looks like one of those guys who are like, back in my day, we used to cover wide receivers. Still, it was an interesting beef to watch. With that, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Alright, I'll see you guys next time.